Morning.
Morning.
All right, I'm just gonna get this started.
Cool.
Okay, so we were discussing in Stump the Broker the other morning about different types of contractors and handy men and stuff. So there's no such thing as a licensed handyman, right? So a handyman legally can do any job that's under $1,000. Okay, so like it doesn't include plumbing, like serious plumbing, like he can replace a faucet, but he can't do like actual like plumbing work that requires a permit. He can't do electrical work that isn't like replacing an outlet. Sorry, I got muted somehow.
That was me. I was trying to mute it so it wasn't echoing on my laptop. I'm just gonna turn the volume down.
Sorry. So he can like replace an outlet. He can replace a faucet. He can't do serious plumbing work. He can do painting. He can do carpentry work, but he cannot do a job that is over $1,000 or that requires a permit because he is not licensed to pull a permit. Again, a handyman cannot do a job that is over $1,000. An unlicensed handyman. Now, if this handyman is saying that he is a licensed handyman, what he is saying is that he is a Class C contractor. Okay. So a Class C contractor can do any job that is less than $10,000 or do a total amount of jobs in a 12-month period less than $150,000. Everybody with me?
Absolutely.
See?
That
Okay.
really clarifies things for me.
So that's your Class C contractors. They are licensed, they are insured. Again, they cannot go over $10,000. And then you have your Class B contractors, which can do projects that are less than $120,000, less than $750,000 in a 12-month period. But again, the singular job cannot be over $120,000. Also, this pertains to bonds. A lot of Class B contractors cannot get bonded for jobs. Only Class A contractors can get bonded for specific jobs. Okay. And then you have your Class A contractors. Anything that's over $120,000 or more than $750,000 in 12 months, they can do any job you want them to. Okay. And remember, when you are hiring a licensed contractor, you are paying for their insurance. That is what you are paying for. Okay. When you call that roofing company to do your roof, that roof might only cost you $12,000 to get your roof done. You might be hiring a Class B contractor to do that roof because they are legally licensed and insured to do it. However, you need to be asking for a COI for your house. Okay, and a COI is a certificate of insurance. You need to be additionally insured under their insurance. If they are not providing that or willing to provide you with it, you need to get a different contractor. Okay. Also, who's that contractor using? I'm going to tell you right now, most contractors, Class A contractors, Class B contractors, Class C contractors are using subcontractors. Or are they using licensed subcontractors? I don't know. Are they using contractors with ghost policies? Most likely. And a ghost policy is basically not real insurance. They pay $1,200 to have a rider policy. It's a lot of tricks of the trade here. You see what I'm saying?
See.
It just is what it is, unfortunately. But, and again, we're going to go over some permitting stuff. When do you need a permit? When do you not need a permit? Who's going to pull that permit? Who can pull that permit? Now, when you hire a Class A contractor can have any other type of contractor work under their license. So the Class A contractor can be the prime contractor on a project and hire a plumber to go pull that permit for your plumbing project for them. They can hire an electrician to go pull that permit for them. Are we all on the same page?
See,
Yes,
Mhm.
Okay. All right, making sure we're all on the same page. So now we're gonna go through some home inspections and some weird stuff. Jed had a weird one on this one. If you guys have questions on your home inspections, what are we gonna write? We've had some weird stuff lately, or we've had some stuff that people don't know what they're writing. Cause they don't know what they're looking at. So if you don't have a contractor that you work with a lot of the times, or have a good relationship with your home inspector, or your home inspector doesn't know what they're looking at, start making relationships with contractors. Call, phone a friend, please. And if anybody can't hear me, please put it in the comments. Let me know that you cannot hear me.
you're good.
all right, where do we want to start?
Wherever you want to. I'm here to answer all of the questions. I will continue to answer all of the questions.
Well, okay. Let's just start at the top then. All right. So here's the first one.
Okay,
And the masonry was deteriorating, the bricks were loose in the chimney,
okay,
as you can see.
great. So it says, there was cracking present on areas of the masonry. Moisture infiltration. Okay. Freeze and thaw. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody on here have a suggestion as to how this should be written
No clue.
to ask for it to be repaired?
Can you hear people? Mine's muted.
I can't hear them.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
No, I can't either.
I can't hear Rebecca anyways.
How about now? That's gonna echo. Shite.
Yeah, now the echo's
All right.
back.
Well, we need somebody's volume.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, just crank one up. Okay, go ahead, Rebecca.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Who's that?
Okay.
Oh, Rebecca. Right. Okay, you want to ask your question again?
Oh, does anybody want to take a guess of how to ask for this?
Yeah, sorry, we couldn't hear
I
anybody.
think I'm just torn on whether you would want to say a licensed general contractor or like a chimney repair, specifically a chimney repair company, you know? That's the only thing I'm hesitant on saying. How specific do you want to be? Like, I feel like general contractor, asking for the general contractor to repair, to inspect,
We need a qualified
repair.
mason, don't we?
So
Right, but a general contractor would call.
Mm.
That's just my thought process. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just trying to put it together in my head what I would say, you know?
Yeah, my opinion on it was always like, you know, the masonry's cracked. We do want it repaired, obviously. That brick's kind of high. We don't want the, you know, chimney falling apart, water intrusion falling on somebody's head, you name it. So
Yeah, but you want to make
um,
sure that the water intrusion is taken care of for future.
right, like I said, so you want it fixed. So, but I would say like a Class A contractor is absolutely
Mhm.
qualified. Like there's nothing wrong with saying a Class A contractor for this one. Just because they can hire a mason, they might already have a mason that works for them.
Right.
And again, their insurance is going to cover it if there's a problem with a Class A contractor. So absolutely a Class A contractor would be perfectly acceptable for this. And even if you write
so that's your opinion, right?
uh yes, but you could also write like a licensed mason as well, just because that would, like, a Class A contractor would still be able to hire one. So really, I mean, it's kind of a moot
Well,
point.
I think my hesitation with saying specifically masonry professional would be if there's something else going on as well.
I agree with Tanya. So my personal opinion, I would I would ask for a chimney company to repair this. And the only reason is because from past experience, not only is this a chimney, right? Because this is a chimney. However, they're going to look at more things other than just this chimney. So they're going to look down inside this thing when they do this. So if there's something else going on, they're going to know about it, right? So if water has gotten in and damaged the inside of it, they're going to know. Not only that, masons are really hard to come by at this point.
Mhm.
I have had the biggest struggle finding them.
I have 2 of them actually.
Right. But it's hard to get them.
Mhm.
So if I know that it's hard to get them, that listing agent's probably going to be up a creek, right? But if you ask them to have a professional chimney contractor come and do this, those chimney contractors, like, you've given them a clue. Those chimney contractors, they've got masons. They know how to fix this. That's what they do.
Right.
That's what I would ask for. It's a damn chimney.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And they're going to check the rest of that thing. So if that thing, like, if that home inspector somehow magically managed to miss something and that thing's pulling away from that house,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
going to call it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, if you're trying to be as safe as possible, then yeah, absolutely, a chimney company is the way to go.
That's what I would ask for.
So,
I mean, yeah, as a buyer's agent, I would definitely have it all encompassing so that way it covers everything and not just the brickwork.
That's what I would do.
Right.
I would ask for a chimney contractor a qualified chimney, licensed and qualified chimney contractor to come and repair that.
right. Now here's the thing. Here's the flip side of that. Even if they do find something else, this is on your PICRA that you've already asked for, so you're probably not going to get any other repairs. You'll find out about
Well,
them, but they're not.
No,
gonna
that's,
fix them.
I would word this to be more general and generic. So that way it's saying, hey, yeah, there's a problem with the masonry. Let's get a chimney expert out here and repair anything that needs to be done with the chimney. Period.
Yeah. Certify that it's in good working order or something along that, so that there's a
Exactly. That is
blanket-
properly working.
Yep, any
Mm.
other findings within the chimney to be addressed.
Now, here's the caveat, right? So because we're asking specifically for licensed contractors, right? And this is the caveat when you specifically, and this is how it is supposed to work, okay? If you hire a Class A contractor and they open a wall, okay? By the code of Virginia, technically, if you want to get technical about this, sorry, I had to sit next to Jed because we had an echoing problem. If you hire a Class A contractor and they open a wall, right? And they realize that it is not to code, they are bound by the state of Virginia to notify that it is not to code. Okay? And if it is something that they have pulled a permit for, they are now bound to notify the city that this thing is not to code and bring it to code.
Hmm.
If you want to get technical about it.
Hmm.
Now, does that happen? No.
Mhm.
No,
However,
it's something you would have to fight for.
technically, they're supposed to.
Right. So here's my deal with this one. All right. So you got to look at this from 2 different eyes. One, are you a buyer's agent or are you a listing agent? Right. So if you're a
Mhm.
buyer's agent, first off, you should have had a chimney inspector, like the
Correct.
whole thing inspected. So you already know what else is going on. You shouldn't have just had your home inspector
It
look at a
shouldn't be
chimney.
willy-nilly.
Right. Your home inspector can't do chimney inspections. All right.
No.
So you should have hired a chimney inspector and then you would know everything else that's going on. If you're a buyer's agent and you only got a let me back up. Sorry. If you're a listing agent, excuse me, if you're a listing agent and I get a repair from you guys, you guys didn't hire a chimney, a chimney inspector. You just had your home inspector do this. And this is all that's in the home inspection. And you write up, fix this and any other problems that are found, I'm going to cross that out. I'm not writing you a blank check
That is correct.
for that
And
chimney because these things get expensive fast. They get up to 10 grand when the flu's screwed.
absolutely. And I am gonna put in that contract that is as is where is.
Yep, same. Yeah,
That's
because
that-
you should have
that-
had a chimney inspector.
That fireplace, chimney and fireplace as is where is.
Yeah, like if
And,
you're messed up.
honestly, when you see these fireplaces in the listings, they usually do say fireplace as is, or
Sometimes.
hasn't been used and whatever. I see it a lot.
In 200 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the owner never used the fireplace.
Well, here's the messed up part about this
It-
one.
as it
Um,
is.
The messed up part about this one is the sellers later admitted they knew the fireplace didn't work, and we didn't know that when we wrote the contract.
Yeah, I kind of remember you talking about this one before.
Yeah, I
Alright.
used that against them later.
Yeah.
All right, onward.
Onward. Downspouts, nobody cares. We already know about that one. It's not important.
You build on waterbeds anyways.
All right. Trees too close, wood
Mhm.
deteriorating, whatever. Not a big deal. Spigot, what was that? Oh, that's the anti-siphon
Oh,
thing. Nobody
God.
gives a shit about that. Trying to get to the important stuff. Okay. This is like honestly, this one, the sealant giving on the sill and the windows.
This is handyman work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he even wrote in their recommendation, contact a handyman or a DIY project. Like, honestly, most of the times I tell my buyers, we're not asking for this because you can go buy a tube of caulk and do it yourself. We have important things to do, and this isn't one of them. We want to ask for get the big things fixed. And if we go nitpicking, we're not going to get, the things that we want fixed. We're going to get this little stupid shit. So, which you could have done yourself.
That is correct. Nobody
Hot
cares.
water, nobody cares.
Search it.
oh.
I know what you want.
Well, I'm just trying. I don't remember what else is in here. So if there's other good ones, I figured we'd just
I
go
don't
over
think
them.
there is.
Oh, actually, there were some other ones in here. Good Lord, I thought. Yeah, hang on. Let's do this easy way. Clay gives us little links at the front. There we go. That's what we want. Back to the links. All right. Spigots, we don't care. Sinks, drainage hindered.
Nobody cares.
Drip link, don't care. Here we go. All right, so this is one you see a lot. All right.
Oh,
Well, damn it, that's not the one I was looking for. Where is it?
that's all right. I've got one.
Mm.
There.
All right, well, I'll just tell you about it. So this one with it went too far. This one with the vent, the dryer vent, it went into the ceiling, but when you went into the attic, it was not run
It
to the
didn't go
outside.
anywhere.
Right, it just terminated into the
Ooh.
attic. So I think
Ooh.
this one comes up all the time, so I figured we'd talk about it.
I
Okay.
just had this repaired in my house after living here for 6 years. We just discovered that when we tried to get the ductwork cleaned.
Holy
It-
shit.
Literally maybe like a month ago, we had a company come out and they rebuilt the
Oh
duct.
my God.
Okay.
Maybe they were thinking it would create extra insulation for you.
Well, they were like, there's like evidence in the attic of the lint.
Yeah.
Oh
Whatever.
my
Um,
God.
It cost a total of $1,400. And I actually have pictures of like the before and after. The before is like awful. I don't know how we were even breathing. But it wasn't that bad. And that's with all new ductwork, because even what was there wasn't great. And he actually had to like build out behind our dryer, do like a cutout, a niche or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because
the
there
little
wasn't
wall
even room for the
inserts.
dryer vent. The dryer vent was always pinched.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like we were prepared to spend a lot more to get it right. And he said, I can do this really cheap or I can do this really well. And because we're getting ready to sell, we were like, do it well.
Yeah,
Um,
do it right.
That's
please.
you
Exactly.
get fast, cheaper done well. You only get two.
Exactly. And it took him, I mean, he was here all day. It was 2 guys. This is a little townhouse, whatever. They did a great job. But yeah, I've been through this.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. All right. So
mean-
as you can see at the top up here, it says dryer vent, right? Up at the top of the page, it says the dryer vent was inspected to ensure it terminated the exterior of the home and no damage was present at the port. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, so it didn't go to outside. And then on the bottom one, we had 2 problems. They used the flex duct to go through a wall, which is also a no-no, as you can
No.
see there. So flexible duct should only be used for transitions, cannot pass through floors or walls. So yeah, we had 2 problems with this one. It should have been the hard galvanized piping.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're supposed to, yeah, you have to use the hard piping to go through. A lot of people use the flex duct to try and go through the wall. And you can't do that. It has to transition into the hard duct and then, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the flex duct, once it transitions into the wall, the flex duct
What
is
the
not
hell is with-
meant to run, because the flex duct is ribbed, okay? So the flex duct is not, stop it. The flex duct is not meant to run horizontally
Right.
because it collects more lint in it. And it is, yeah, like, because the galvanized is smooth, so it's easier to clean out. And you are at a higher risk of fires because like it's not, you cannot clean what's inside your walls
Yeah.
with just air.
The problem with the flexible ductwork is it's got the little, the wavy edges on the inside as well.
Yeah, it's
So
ridged.
so the lint just piles in those little crevices and then catches fire and your house burns down. So
Correct.
yeah, so don't use flex ducting unless it's right there at the dryer going into the solid galvanized piping. That's it.
And also, I wanted to point out that when it comes to roofs, can somebody tell me the difference? Because I know you guys have seen it. How many layers of shingles can you put on a roof?
Well, you have to stop at 3 is what I've been told. Like 3 is too much.
Rebecca is correct.
Wow, I thought it was only 2.
3 layers.
Jesus,
3 layers of shingles before you have to do a tear off.
good to know.
Yeah.
I thought it
Good
was
job,
2.
Rebecca.
Way to go, Rebecca.
I've had to
Hi.
replace a
She's
couple
been through
roofs.
that too.
Yeah.
If you were here, we would have given you a cookie,
Yeah.
but you're not.
You know
so.
what?
Aw.
No cookie for you.
What kind of cookie?
I mean, a special cookie.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Just don't let Adam find out about it again. All right, anyway, all right. So back to the important bit. All right. The important bit here. All right. Back to the duct again. Now, do you want a licensed contractor, a handyman, or what? Or a dryer vent specialist, right?
Okay. So if you are making a hole in the roof, a penetration in the roof in order to vent this out of the side of the house, or if you're making a hole in the side of your house, you want a licensed contractor to put the hole in the side of the house because you're changing the structure of the house and putting a penetration larger than a certain amount of space, which means technically you have to permit that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what I would ask for, is a licensed contractor for that, because then it encompasses the ductwork as well
You
as the roof.
if you are putting a dryer vent in a house that does not exist, you technically need a permit for it.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm sorry, like,
Right. Now, if the pipe is just disconnected in the attic,
just
a
reconnect it.
handyman can do that. Like you can do it actually, that's another one. If it's up there and it's just disconnected, I'm telling my homeowner to go buy a roll of aluminum tape and tape it back together. You'll be fine. So, because again, not a big deal. So, yeah. But at the same time, if you've got other work in the attic already, this could be handled quickly. Like an electrician could just bring a roll of aluminum tape and tape it back up while he's up there doing other connections. So, yeah. But I always like bringing that one up because that's one of those ones where people are like, ooh, is this too small? Is this nitpicking? No, it's not nitpicking. You can catch a house on fire. So
Correct.
I don't consider it nitpicking.
Right.
Let's see.
I want the
that's-
foundation one on this one.
Yes. Oh, we're getting there. Oh yeah, here we go. Service disconnect plate missing on an HVAC. Nitpicky or fix it?
No, absolutely fix it.
Fix it.
Fix it. Oh yeah, you don't want any water or
That's a
whatever
fix.
elements in there.
Well, it's not even the water. Like, what if like those little doors usually aren't locked? And what if your kid goes over there and pulls it open? That's 220.
That's too, yeah.
He gonna get
Yeah.
knocked. Yeah.
Not only
he's
that,
true.
but like you're missing the disconnect. Okay. If something goes wrong with your HVAC and there is your air handler has got 220 going to it in your attic, if something is wrong and something goes haywire with that thing and you are smelling smoke, the only way to disconnect that power is to pull that. So if they've
Yep.
dumped that
Yeah.
and have made it so you cannot emergency disconnect that,
Right.
we've got problems.
Right. And just for the record, this one did have the disconnect. It was just the cover plate is missing. So you
Okay,
can see in the
okay, fair
picture.
enough. But
Right. You shouldn't when
Excuse-
you open this box, you shouldn't see wiring and fuses.
no,
Like there should be a
Mhm.
nice metal plate right there with a little service disconnect poking out.
yeah.
Yeah, the service disconnect is actually there. It's just you can't
mean,
see it.
Disconnect is
I
missing.
know.
I thought they bypassed it. I was like, excuse?
I know you can't because of the darkness, but it's right here in the pictures.
No, it's there, but
Well,
I
you
think too,
bypassed
especially
it.
with
You
all the
can't just
squirrels.
plug it?
Yeah, that would have been bad. All right. So this was more of the masonry. This is masonry by the fireplace. And on the outside of the fireplace, I'm not so concerned about it.
Mm.
Inside the fireplace, when the tiles have a crack in between them, that's a concern because the heat can transfer through the crack in the tiles and then
Mhm.
catch your house on fire.
That was going to be my question, is if the home inspector saw anything else with the fireplace or chimney.
Not on the inside.
Because then you can kind of combine them if he did, you
Yes.
know?
Agreed. So as you can see, this one is just the masonry around the outside was coming
Mhm.
loose. We got that repaired too, just because again, like I said, I held their feet to the fire when they told me they knew the fireplace didn't work. So but then I told them, all right, well, you're fixing everything or we're walking. So and they did. So hooray. But yeah, so that one not a big deal. But if like I said, again, if those cracks are inside the firebox, that's a problem. You want that fixed. Otherwise, don't light a fire. Yeah, let's get through this. Plumbing, don't care. Electrical is always important. I'm like with electrical, there are very few things I will not ask for just because electrical is always a safety issue. So,
Bless you, Tanya.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I forgot I was unmuted.
It's okay. We appreciate you.
if it makes you feel any better, nobody else heard it.
I'm trying to make
There's
this
only 4 of us.
kind of a easy, like, because everybody had questions about this
Yeah.
on Tuesdays.
No, I think these are always good to do because I like to hear, you know,
Right.
how Jed handles things, how Rebecca handles things, you know. I already
Well,
know how
so-
you handle things.
Right.
Our
So
brains are the same.
here's a good one for you. This is a good one that I like to talk about here. All right. So wiring, exposed terminations in the attic. So you see here, you've got a bare wire with, just hanging out in the insulation, I might add.
In the
Right,
insulation.
in the insulation, I might add. Then you've got splices outside of electrical boxes. This is a bathroom vent fan, and you can see that obviously it's not connected
It
to the
doesn't go
outside either. It
anywhere.
goes right into the attic. Also,
I love
in
it
the
when
know,
my
but
poop particles go into the stuffing.
right. Well, more importantly,
Hmm.
you're blowing moisture into your attic.
No,
So
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
idea. But you can
I'm
see
well aware, sir.
you can see the electrical right. You can see the electrical connections here, not in the electrical box. And to be honest, if you go in my attic, I've replaced my fans like twice and mine aren't in a box either, but I know it's wrong. So yes, they should be in a box. Now the last one here, missing covers on boxes, okay? Now, 2 of these are handled the same way. 1, I don't care. So, and the electrical box is missing a cover. It's not an electrical problem. You're just missing a cover. Any asshole can do it. Put a cover on it. Sorry. Any jerk can do it. A homeowner can put, screw a cover on it. The sellers can put a cover on it because it's just 2 screws, right? But these 2, you've got, like you actually have to have these mitigated. You should, I would say, hire a licensed contractor. Despite
Yes.
the fact, like if it's my house and I'm a listing agent, I'm going to cross that out and be like, no, I'll take care of it.
Wow.
But I'm an electronics technician. So what?
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Oh
that,
my
even if
God.
there's nothing wrong with the electrical, but it's missing the cover. If there's any other electrical work needing to be done in the house, I'm including that under. an elec-
Correct.
Absolutely.
If
Yeah.
the electrician is there, he can do that as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's like,
Mhm.
he's going to charge you like $5 for it. Like,
Exactly,
the part,
exactly.
the $2 part and then twice, twice that
And
for
I always try
putting it
to
in.
like, because this always happens, especially like under a house. Okay, there's
Mhm.
always like a
Mhm.
missing thing under a house or
Yeah, like
whatever.
everyone.
And I always try to tell, especially when I'm buyer side, I'm like, look, whoever was under there, are you climbing back under there to make sure they got everything? Probably not. Okay, so nobody checked behind this person, whoever was hired.
Yep.
Not only that, they're crawling around under a whole house. It's not easy to get, it's not hard to get turned around and accidentally miss something or forget to go back for something. They probably didn't miss it on purpose. It just got missed at some point and nobody ever
Right.
crawled back under there. It's an easy mistake to make.
Right. It's
You know
also
what I
an
mean?
easy fix.
It's also a really easy fix.
Yeah.
So let's just get somebody under there to wrap it all up.
Right. And being an easy fix, especially like this one we're looking at here with the wire in the insulation with clearly no cover on it. And that tape job looks suspect as well. Yeah, we're getting that fixed because that is absolutely a fire hazard.
Yeah, I just feel like that's just a problem waiting to happen.
It
And
absolutely
I
is.
I gotta tell you, I've been in
I've-
2 situations where one was a home inspector and was a homeowner where they tripped on that loose wire in the attic and fell through the ceiling. That's actually
Oh.
how I met Kurt Lind years ago.
When he came through the ceiling?
One
Yeah.
of his guys, I had a listing and one of his guys tripped on the electrical wire. I mean, so it was before the
Yikes.
home inspection report, but then I
Oh.
had a homeowner do the same thing. So now it's like, oh, no, we're not, especially if it's like loose in the insulation, you can't see it.
Yeah.
No.
Agreed.
So
Yeah, and so and you bring up another good point. All right, I tell my buyers don't go in the attic.
No,
I
you're
don't.
not
I
allowed.
can't
Yeah,
say I
yeah.
don't let them do it, but I
No, I
tell
totally
them
agree.
Do it.
don't go up there
Nope.
because the home inspector is insured. If he goes up there, if he trips or breaks anything, he's got to fix it, right? He knows that, but it's his job. The buyer, if they trip and fall through a ceiling, now you got a whole nother issue because now
That is correct.
not only do they have to buy the house, but now they got to fix the hole in the ceiling first.
I do not let my buyers go in attics. I do not let my buyers go under crawl spaces.
Right.
I do not let my buyers go into any door that they cannot physically walk through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Liability issues.
It is a liability issue, and I'm not doing it. Like
Yep.
I literally told a buyer, if you go up if you go up that attic ladder, I will jerk your legs out from under you.
Yeah.
Do not do it.
I wouldn't do that, but yes, he's not wrong.
I did threaten to though. Did I
think-
physically do it? No. Did I absolutely threaten to? Yes, because I told them specifically, do not do it.
I believe you.
If you go up there and fall through the ceiling, you are paying to repair a house that you do not own.
Oh, here's a fun one for everybody. Older wiring with no grounds. All right.
Mm,
Okay.
What are you doing on your pictures?
So there
Percent-
are multiple solutions to this issue.
Okay.
So depending on how you want to handle it from an
Yeah.
electrical perspective, you can ground at the electric box.
Yes.
Yes.
So
If there's something to ground to.
if there is something to ground to, you can add an additional loop.
Yeah,
What does
it's
that
pretty-
mean if I'm stupid about electrical stuff. What does that mean if there's something to ground to? What are we looking for?
Okay. I can help with this one because in my former
All right,
life, I was an
Mr.
electronics
Electrician.
technician.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, no, I was an
Stupid about
electronics
this.
technician. not
Electronics
electrician.
tech, sorry.
Right.
My
Yeah.
husband
But
is
grounds
in
are a pain.
electronics.
Yeah. Grounds are a pain and
You
they
make
cause
airplane go woo in the sky.
they cause problems. But I'm gonna stay away from some of the things that I say because this is the YouTube channel. So
Yeah.
you need to hear
Oh.
you need to
Yep.
hear the right things, not what I consider for my own house. But,
Let's
all right.
let's be correct.
Some things I will
the
tell you.
correct
Having
way.
a ground on an outlet doesn't mean you're not going to get shocked and knocked into the middle of next week. So that ground missing doesn't necessarily mean you're in danger. You're in danger regardless if there's a ground.
It's
All right.
electricity.
Because it's electricity, precisely. If you're the path of least resistance, that ground means nothing. You're going to get zapped. So, all right. So just because it doesn't have a ground doesn't mean it's broken or it's wrong. Okay. It still works. It just means there's no ground for your equipment. And that ground is a reference. All right. So you've got 110 volts of electricity. Okay. Now the problem is you have 110 on a hot line, and then it's supposed to be like about 0 on the neutral. But if
It's
that
not.
neutral has any kind of voltage on it, it's a reference, right? So if let's say you have 10 volts on your neutral and you have 110 on your hot line. Now you basically have 100 volts. You don't have 110 because the difference there is 100. That's what you're using. All right. That's what electrical is. It's a difference in potential, right? It's just like water. Electricity works just like water. Even the drawings are the same. It's kind of crazy. But so
They're not gonna.
with a ground missing, right? The ground gives you a different reference. The ground gives you absolute 0. Okay. That's what that 110 now uses for a reference. So it's like, okay, cool. There's 0. I'm 110. Now you're getting all 110 volts. Now, usually it's fine. There's usually no voltage unless something is wrong in the electrical system on the neutral line. Right now, grounding these, what we're talking about, taking, like, you can put a ground in and take it to a point to ground it. You have a couple of options. If there is copper piping in the house, that is a very good one to use. If
You
there's
can usually add an additional ground outdoors.
yes, so what they can do is they can take an 8-foot copper rod and
Drive
beat
it into the ground.
drive it into your ground,
Mhm.
wrap a wire around it, and
And
then
run it to your
run
box.
run it into your house. Right.
We have
So,
3 because
Yes.
my husband's
Wow.
an electrician.
Right. The hard part is yeah. The more grounds you have, as long as they're all using earth ground, you're
It's
good.
Earth ground.
Yeah. The thing is, you don't want, so you want a single point ground, as we call it, and earth is a single point. You don't want to hook to like one, like, well, I'm not going to that, but yeah. So if you can like connect the ground stud of an outlet to something that is like a lot of metal. You can't use like that little dryer vent there. That's not grounded. That's
No.
running a ground wire to that's not going to help
But
you.
that vent is not attached to the ground.
Correct. Now
Okay.
the plumbing is. The plumbing runs through everything and
And it
eventually
runs
goes
into the
back
ground.
to the ground. So that's why
However,
the
it's
plumbing is
most
usually
likely made
acceptable
of
to use.
PVC.
Yeah, on newer
It's-
houses.
Yeah,
so.
it's not grounded. Which is why that old myth that you get electrocuted in the shower
Yes.
because the pipes were made of metal. Anyways,
Yeah. Okay.
I
So-
digress.
Yeah, but you don't, the grounds aren't required. It's not like you have to have this. So you don't have to ask for this to be fixed. I don't, quite frankly. I tell my clients, look, get yourself a power strip with a ground wire on it and run that ground wire to something that has a ground.
Right.
And now your electrical outlets are grounded. Like now you're grounded. Now you're covered.
I personally
There's
make my clients go through the home inspection and ask them what's important to them.
well, yes.
That's
All right.
what
So
I do.
and this
I
none
will
of this is your decision. This is
Read
yeah.
these.
Right.
correct. You give it to your client. You're like, what do you want fixed? These are my recommendations.
Nope, I do
for-
not.
I'm like, well, I do. I always make recommendations because
Nope.
some people miss things like the dryer vent, for instance, with the flex wire, the flex tube. They're like, oh, it's connected. We're good. I don't think so. No, absolutely not. That's going to catch fire. They might not know that. So
For first time
That's why
home
I
buyers, I'll do
let
that.
them. Go aahead. I'm sorry.
I'm
No,
sorry.
go ahead,
No,
Tanya.
I was saying for first time home buyers, I'll let them look through it and then I will comment on if I think there are some additional things and why, but always let them
Exactly.
make the decision. If it's a
Mhm.
second time home buyer, you're going to read through that. We're going to talk about what you think is important and leave it alone.
See,
I
I
give up-
do
yeah,
it for
mine are
everybody
usually first time home buyers
regardless.
anyway.
Yeah, I do it for everybody regardless. I let them go through it, tell me what's important, and then I say, okay, I see your list, I'm reading it, but let's take a look at this too.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I do that whether they're first time or not, because
Yeah.
I've worked with people that have bought before and they don't remember doing these things. They
Right.
don't remember anything about it.
That is
Right.
correct. However, I do, because of the way the reports are written, right? Because the way the reports are written, they're written in, blue, red, orange. I'm
Yep.
like, pay special attention to the red and the orange.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Read it twice. Read it in its entirety. Read it thoroughly.
Right.
Give me your list of things that you want in order of most important to least important.
Right. See, I'm with Tanya where I let them make a list and then I make a list and then we compare our lists.
I definitely
So-
make my own list. And I compare it to their list.
Mm.
Now, if they miss something crazy, I'm gonna be like, you guys saw this, right?
Exactly.
However,
Mhm.
that is as far as I will go.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just identify. Can I ask another electrical question?
Yes.
Fine.
Of course.
So when you plug something into an electrical outlet and you hear a little whistling, what does that mean?
What did
Um,
you plug in?
Like
the-
anything?
Is the
but,
whistling coming from the outlet or the equipment?
So one time it happened with like just plugging in a phone charger, but the phone wasn't connected to the charger,
Yeah.
and there was a whistling noise coming from the outlet.
At the outlet, that sounds like you've got something, your power is going to ground. Something is shorting out is what
Yeah.
that sounds like. Because what you're hearing,
The
usually,
buzzing.
usually have you ever you ever see it's like 110, 60 hertz? That
Yes.
60 hertz is what you're hearing.
Yeah, you're hearing the
You're
hertz.
hearing the current. You're
like-
hearing electricity.
You're hearing electricity.
burn,
It's like it's like
for no
when
good
you're in
reason.
an office building, you can hear it in the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the like fluorescent lights. You hear it in fluorescent lights a lot too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just that's the AC current because alternating current, right? It's a sound, it looks like a sound wave. It basically
Right.
is. So, but
Okay. So the house isn't going to burn down?
I could.
no, it could. You should definitely look at that outlet. No, you shouldn't hear your outlets buzzing. If your
No.
outlet's buzzing, that's a problem. So
Okay.
yeah, you should definitely take that outlet apart.
Hey,
And
don't take that outlet apart. Call an electrician, Rebecca.
Oh, well,
be
yes,
calling-
sorry.
I'll be
So
calling
the
an
other
electrician.
thing you could be hearing, and this is this one's even more dangerous than the other one. You could be hearing a loose wire.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these wires, a lot of the way they do this construction, when you look at these outlets, when you like these little outlets, the right way to do it is strip the wire, make a hook in it, and screw it to the terminal.
Yeah.
Electricians, when they're building houses these days, are lazy and they don't do that. What they do instead is if you look at these outlets, they've got little holes in the back of them.
And they
They
shove it
strip
in
the
there.
wire and they shove it in the thing, and it's just a pinch. So it's just, rather than being screwed
Right, and
down,
then every time you
it's
plug
just-
and unplug something, it comes looser and looser and looser and
right,
looser.
every time
until-
that
yeah.
outlet moves, those prongs, they're just pinching the wire and they're just coming looser and looser. And that's probably what you're hearing, is those have gotten loose now, so they're not tight on the wire, and you're hearing the wire vibrate between them. So yeah, you want to take that apart and make sure that, have an electrician come take that apart and make sure it's,
Yeah,
either the
so-
outlet's not bad or the wire's not loose. Because one
Okay.
of those is what's happening.
And that's not a job for a handyman, right?
No, I'd be, well, it depends. All right.
Yeah,
If
it's
if this is a Picra, no, not a handyman. No, hire an electrician.
Mhm.
If this is your house,
Do
I
what you
mean,
think is
yeah.
right.
If it's your
Okay.
house, yeah, I mean, like I said, if it's your personal house, I think a handyman's fine
I
with
will
this one.
not mess with electricity. I have been shocked one too many times. Like, I'm sorry.
I'm like I said, I'm probably the exception to the rule. You probably shouldn't do what I say because I'm an electronics technician. So
Yeah, I use Chris. Chris is my electrician
exactly right.
for
So,
the
I mean,
same reasons. He's an electronics engineer,
Right.
so
however, we're talking about
Yeah.
contracts and Picras and buyers
Yep.
and stuff. So
yeah,
yes, this
I
should
would
be
say an
handled-
electrician.
That one should be absolutely be handled by a licensed
Just
electrician.
Call an
Because you don't know what the homeowner knows and what they're going to do. They might strip that wire back 4 inches and hook it up, which
Right.
is not a good
Oh my
idea,
God.
Precisely.
Okay.
So, yes, this one, an electrician, hands down. Oh, so the other thing with like ungrounded outlets like this, you can put in a GFCI breaker in the box,
Yes,
and that is the
correct.
quickest way to fix it
And
because
then
that'll
if you-
fix that entire run.
Yeah,
That'll-
that's what we were talking about in Stump.
Well, and the
Yeah.
other thing is that when
Sorry, I got sidetracked earlier.
I know you got really sidetracked.
I'm sorry.
No, it's my fault.
You pulled a Chrissy. You went in. You dove deep.
I
The other hard part about when they build these houses, okay, the other thing you have to watch out for is that they will pack as many outlets as humanly possible onto a single chain.
True.
They'll put 12 outlets on one single run
Yeah.
because that's what's allowed.
Yes.
You are allowed to put 12 outlets on one breaker.
Which is fine until you've got a 10 amp breaker and you plug in your little space heater into it.
And then you have, your TV and everything else and the
Mhm.
world plugged into
Go vacuum.
the vacuum and
Yes,
everything else. and
precisely.
you don't-
Anything with a motor or a heating element is going to draw
Yep.
a lot of current.
And you
Vacuum
don't
and
realize
hair
that
dryer usually
12
do it.
outlets are daisy chained through your damn house.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yes.
So,
All right. I think we beat that one to death, and we really want to get to
Keep
this. You guys have
going.
got to see this.
I know, I want to see it really, really badly.
What was it? I think we had a cut truss up here, but you guys already know about that one.
Very sister it up.
Yeah. Also, that roof had a past fire in it, but they had actually mediated it correctly, and our home inspector found it, showed it to us, but powered fan not
Okay.
functioning as usual. Like every damn time there's one in there. Oh, so here you go. You can see the white painted ones.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they're fire damaged.
Yes,
That's
they're
what
fire
the-
damaged,
so
but they
if you
were.
zoom in on that.
Unfortunately, well, hang on. I can't.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, wait, there it goes. Yeah.
Okay, you see the,
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
it's still going.
all right, you see.
I broke it.
No, it's okay. It's perfect. You guys see this picture with the white paint on it, in the left-hand corner?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this
You
one.
see how it's got the squares in it?
Mhm.
When you see that like that, that is gonna be fire damage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Untreated.
Specifically, that is what fire damage looks like. That's what painted fire damage looks like.
Yes. And
Okay.
now if there is fire damage in the attic and it's been painted, that means somebody came to remediate it. It
No,
doesn't
it
mean it was,
doesn't.
well, no, actually, because anybody could paint it, to be honest. But it should. Sorry, it should. But so as you can see the sheathing right above it though, the sheathing, you can tell that was a brand new roof,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So somebody and they had our home inspector looked at it, and that's why there's a chunk missing out of this, because he had stuck his screwdriver in it and
Yeah.
twisted it to make sure that the wood was still, sound, and it was. It was just flamed on the outside, so it's just barbecued a little bit, but the wood itself was structurally sound. So
It's a barbecue.
it was barbecued.
I mean, that's literally what it looks like in my fire pit when I have the
Yep.
fire pit going.
Precisely. Yeah. If you've got, you see
It's
like
barbecue.
right. You look at one of the chunks of wood in your fire pit and it's got the cracks in it just like that.
Mhm.
Foundation, here we go. Okay. This was my
Mm.
favorite one. Christy will get a kick out of this. So here's our little entrance to the crawl space.
That's a nice size entrance, though.
It was decent. And it was actually nice in the crawl space, minus this
Yeah,
right
that.
here. Yeah, you see where my cursor is?
Yeah, that's the first
Yeah.
thing I
Can you
noticed.
zoom in on that real
There
quick?
was like
Yeah.
there
What are
was
you
like
looking at?
6 or 7 spots of this. Oh, hang on. We gotta wait for this thing to catch up. It's being stupid. No,
It's thinking.
off of there. There we go.
No,
Ah,
use your zoomy over here.
Hit Control Plus.
hang on. My computer's going crazy.
It's a Windows machine.
Whoa. No, it does not like being hooked to Zoom right now. It is lagging.
She's literally having a temper tantrum.
Yeah. So you can see here where my cursor is, where they have removed about 2.5 feet of cinder block, and you're looking
Yeah.
at the brick exterior there.
Hmm.
That brick isn't foundation. That brick is
It's a facade.
exterior siding. Right. It is
Mhm.
siding. It is
all,
not foundation.
all brick is a facade.
Yeah.
So, clearly we had a concern about this because like it's not just
Did they
that it
figure
was
out why
missing
they
down there.
They removed it?
No, I just told them to fix it. I didn't care. Because
Okay.
they said they didn't know it was like that when they bought it. I'm like, well, I'm sorry about your agent, but I'm not letting that one go. Because if you look at the top, you can see the brick
It's missing,
missing.
and it's missing in this one too.
Right. If that brick was there, like, no, I'd still have a problem with it. But like
Yeah.
if that hole might have been like smaller and that brick at the top was there, and you could see that it was like across 2 other bricks, it might not have been as big
Yeah,
of
if
a
it was like
deal.
a one,
but-
if it was like that one, maybe like
Right.
that other hole right
Right
there.
here?
Yeah, that fine. I could have probably lived with that.
Right. Probably if it's only one. If there's
Correct.
several, and this is the problem, and this is what we're going to go into. Here you go. You can
So several different areas that they took out chunks.
So yeah, you can see
Oh.
this one here.
But why?
Is that plywood back there?
Yes.
I think it is, yes. Now, so here's another thing you want to look at because I want to point this one out. So you see the way the floor joists are running?
Yeah.
Right now, this one's not really that much of a yes, it's still a problem, but it's not as bad of a problem as if the joist was going the
How big
other
is
way.
that gap?
Sure.
Oh, they're big. So here's the problem. We had another one, and I'm looking for it now.
Oh, that
It
looks
had the-
nice.
No, it might not. It might be zoomed in too far. So we had another one that the floor joist above it, it was running perpendicular to those cinder blocks. And okay, hang on a second. Let me do this thing.
So it
again.
had no support whatsoever from the foundation.
Right, exactly. Like the
Amazing.
dead end, right. It just dead ended right above it. And there was
Yeah.
nothing. There was no cinder blocks below it holding the floor joist, holding the end of
Oh.
the floor joist. I don't know why.
It's gotta be that
Yeah,
one.
I think it's, oh, well, damn it.
That's
The
all right.
picture's in here somewhere, sorry. But you can see how these floor joists are running in this picture.
Yeah.
And that wall back there was another gap in that wall.
Okay.
Mm.
So there was no cinder block holding it up. It was just like a floor sill maybe, or a piece of wood underneath it holding it up. So
Right. Just
and
part of the
honestly,
framing.
Right. When I wrote this one up, I'll just tell you what I wrote. I told them to evaluate and repair as necessary because I wanted them to have a structural engineer come in and look at it and tell us whether or not this is okay,
Did you
which
ask
we
for
already
a
knew.
engineer?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it said structural engineer. But I mean, I knew no structural engineer is going to sign off on this one. Like no structural engineer is going to risk his job and look at that and go, nope, it's fine. And if he does, good, because his insurance is covering it when something bad happens. So, but like, the structural engineer is going to be like, no, that really shouldn't be that way. So, but also again, like, so we want him to come in and then repair as per his recommendation, the structural engineer. So, because we didn't know why this was done, we just knew that it was a problem. Like, it's obviously a problem, so.
Yeah. I mean,
Actually, let me see. I've got the picture for this one. Right now,
don't worry about it.
okay. I was about to say we can
You can go. I mean, no, don't worry about it. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly,
You want to see how bad Jed
I-
was?
We found one that was similar to that at one point, Chrissy. Wasn't it that house in Hampton that was missing parts of the foundation?
oh, I've had so many.
Ugh.
Please be specific.
I'm trying to remember the one, I think it was Buckrow or Phoebus. It was, what's her name? The California girl.
Oh, the bike path lady.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
That house was missing chunks of the foundation
It was
inside.
missing chunks of the foundation and they did fix it. But what they had done, it wasn't actually missing chunks of the foundation. They had used non-permanent jacks.
Oh,
Right.
metal ones.
No, they did not use the metal ones. They actually used like actual like car jacks.
Yeah, it was actual jacks.
Oh my God.
They use foundation jacks because the foundation jacks, the metal ones, they can
That's
be
why I
left
can't forget
permanently.
that
Oh, I
one.
didn't know that.
They
Okay.
can be left permanently.
All right. Actually, I did find the picture, guys. So this picture here in the middle, you can
Mhm.
see this was the one that the floor joist ran perpendicular.
So there's
yeah,
just nothing under
perpendicular.
that.
Right. And unfortunately, this duct is in the way.
Yeah.
But on the other
Mhm.
side of that duct, there's a piece of wood that runs along the top of the concrete.
Yeah, that's your sill.
Right, the sill, and then that floor joist, that 2x10, was sitting right on top of it.
Wow.
I don't know, I think it's 2x10, but yeah, it's sitting on top of the wood, and you can see the bricks were all gone. There was no bricks under cinder blocks underneath it holding it up. So
Yeah.
that was that was the one I had the biggest problem with. But I mean, obviously, it's all a problem, and I was like, y'all got to fix that.
Mhm.
Of course, their response is, "Oh, we bought it that way," and I'm like, "That's not our problem. That's
That's
your problem."
not, yeah.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Now it's your responsibility to fix
So-
it.
Precisely. And this is important as a buyer's agent to, get the stuff fixed so that when your clients go to sell the house.
I mean, there is like one good thing. So like, even if you see like this right here, where they've got this stack of stuff,
Yeah.
they
Mhm.
don't have ground to wood contact. You're allowed to
Right.
have this stack
Right.
of stuff, like as long as it's not wood to ground contact.
Right. Down here, it's got to be cinder block or
It's
metal.
got to be cinder block.
Actually,
Doesn't
right
it have to
behind
be
that, right
laid
there,
a
you can see the
certain
wall.
way?
Right there behind that is where the wall was missing.
Mhm.
And you can see the piece of wood running across.
Mhm.
And then the joists were sitting on top of that, but you can see there's no cinder blocks.
Yeah.
Oh my
Right.
God.
And that was the problem.
Well, I mean, like you're allowed to have, depending on the thickness of the wood, right? And I can't remember what it is. You're gonna have to ask contractor what it is. There's a certain amount of like, because again, we have crawl space entrances and stuff. You're allowed to have a certain amount of distance depending on the thickness of the wood, the thickness of the beam. You're allowed to have a certain amount of distances depending on the thickness of the beam. And I do mean thickness like down, like perpendicular to the floor thickness, like 8 inches, 10 inches, like whatever, kind of like these
Right. So
floor
that's why.
joists.
All right. So this is why I zoomed in on this one. Here you can see it's just the wood supporting it with no cinder block underneath.
Oh, geez.
So, and yes, Chrissy's 100% right. You're allowed certain gaps, but you don't even need to memorize that, and you shouldn't, because you shouldn't be telling anybody that that's
No, you
okay.
should be
Your
asking-
contractor,
You-
make your
yeah.
contractor tell them
Correct.
this is how far the distance is. This is acceptable. This isn't.
Absolutely, send this.
You
to the
don't take that
contractor.
liability.
However, like if your home inspector is under there and you're seeing stuff like this, be like, okay, great. Did you measure that while you're under there?
Yeah. Like, is that
Nice.
is that in code? Is that okay?
Yeah, like that's, I mean, like, did they measure that? Like how big is that gap? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those are questions that I have. Like, how big is it? Like how big is the gap? Because now I need to send this information to a contractor. Like now I'm gonna have to have somebody else go under there. Like, what are we doing here?
Right.
Yeah.
I need to know. These are questions I need to know. I don't need you to go under there and cause more issues and stuff. I need you to have done this.
Right.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm very demanding.
Well, when you're
When you're
buyers
the
who don't know
buyer's
what's going
agent, you
on,
have
yes,
to be.
You should be
They
right.
have to be. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh, here's some better shots of it. I don't know why I missed these before, but
That one.
yeah, like, oh my God, these two on the right are my favorite, especially the one on the bottom with the 4x4 wedged in there underneath the
Because
concrete
this
block.
one obviously fell at
Yeah.
the top.
Yeah, this one already,
Mhm.
or this one, I don't know. Like, again, they removed it and we don't know why. We didn't know if they were gonna put in venting, which great, put in the venting and put the cinder block back. Like,
I think it fell down.
no, this
Yeah,
is,
but it's all cleaned
No,
up.
I
I
mean,
mean,
like, I think that they started removing it and that
that one.
block fell. Cause
That
look
one-
at the other
oh,
tipped.
Well, it might have. There's other ones where they've removed.
Oh, yeah, they
them
removed it,
entirely. So,
obviously.
Yeah.
And that
That's a
one's
neat
gonna
little
be-
piece of wood on that
Yeah,
one there.
And this one
No, no,
here in the middle, this is again, this is what, so
That's the
these
ugliest
two,
thing
these
I've
are the
ever
ones we're
seen.
talking
Oh
about where
my
the
God.
floor joists are running perpendicular to the outer wall and resting on top of it with nothing underneath it, with no cinder block underneath it supporting it. This one's just got a 4x4 wedged in there, and you know that thing ain't measured properly.
No.
It's also, it
What
might
is
actually be
this
sitting
one?
on the ground too, which again, you don't want the ground to wood contact. So, but yeah, you can see the other gaps here. So, yeah, that was a fun one.
Wow.
Yeah, and needless to say, that was a fix it or we're out one. You know, we weren't,
Yeah.
that wasn't up for debate.
You can't
Um,
list a home with foundation as is.
Yeah,
No.
correct.
Unfortunately,
You're not wrong,
it
Rebecca.
doesn't work like that.
Um,
Got one more thing that I wanted to share with you guys. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
there's the other fun ones, windowsills with little, with water damage and whatnot.
And this
That's
is
usually because the caulk on the outside of the window is deteriorated, usually. But again, that one, I'm having a professional contractor look at that one. I'm not having somebody DIY that one because all they're gonna do is caulk the hell out of it with a tube of caulk and not fix the problem. They're fixing the symptom, So you want to know why this is cracking. So
Well, you also want to make sure there's no rot around the windowsill.
correct. Well, you can even see that Clay wrote in here, qualified window repair installation contractor. Like he didn't even say class A contractor. He's like, no, you want a window guy. So, and I'm with him on that one. And then we
okay.
had fungal growth. Yay.
So
Okay.
as a listing agent, we received pickers from the buyer, right? So this was received by somebody. Okay. So there's a garage that had insulation in it. And you know how like, depending on which way direction you put the insulation in is correct or not correct.
Correct.
But the garage had insulation in it, which is not required,
Mhm,
except for that interior wall,
mhm.
but not the exterior walls on a garage.
Right.
But it did not have drywall up. Okay. So this is what they received. Let me see if I can see this. Garage walls, insulation improperly installed in areas. Paper facing should be covered, not exposed. Request correcting per manufacturer specifications to achieve normal function.
Hmm.
But part of the garage was drywalled. So what are they asking for? I was like, so they want you to drywall the rest of the garage?
Yeah, so this is one of those ones in your picker where this person was entirely too vague.
I was
So-
like, nay, nay, pussycat. I was like, we're not drywalling the rest of this garage.
Now, I'm looking at the garage door one. I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry.
Right
All
here.
right. Yeah, garage insulation is improperly installed in areas. Paper facing should be covered, not exposed. Request correcting per. I mean,
It's
that
either
depends
drywall it or
on-
remove the unnecessary insulation. It's gotta be, they're asking for one or the
As a
other.
listing agent,
I
I'm
would
just
be-
gonna fix the insulation. I'm
Right.
I'm not gonna cover it. I'm just gonna put the insulation in properly, or cover it with plastic if that's
But
allowed. But I
I'm
don't know.
rewriting this.
Yeah, like I don't like the way that
accepting
one.
this as I don't like
Correct.
the way that it's written. I'm not doing this.
No, that one's entirely too vague,
It's
and it's gonna
entirely
turn
too
into an
vague.
argument
I'm
later.
crossing it out.
Right. Well, like she said, either cross it out or rewrite
Because
it.
half of the, because it also, the way that it was written, okay, and I don't have the copy of the home inspection for this, but it specifically says garage walls and then in brackets, including firewall separation.
Was this on a townhouse?
No,
Okay, so that's just about the interior wall, I guess.
yeah,
That ain't a firewall though. Well, is it?
A
No, it has-
garage wall? No, not with,
correct.
No, it's not. It's just the same.
it's a
Right,
garage
so-
wall.
Firewall
It's
only
not the
townhouse.
interior wall. That
So
was
that's
walled up.
Super
sheetrock
shady
and
sounding,
everything.
isn't it?
Yeah, that firewall
Yeah.
separation is for townhouses
Well,
because
well,
that
now-
will have a
no,
firewall
well,
in
now
between.
the door, no, because the door from the garage, the attached garage to the interior of the house has to be fire rated.
Oh, I'm not talking about the door. I'm talking about
Yeah,
like
but that's where the confusion comes in.
yes.
Yeah.
However, the way that this agent wrote this, and I don't know who this other agent is,
Right.
the way this buyer's agent wrote this is basically like, are we drywalling the rest of this? are we fixing this insulation?
Yeah.
Is way too vague. Like, I'm not accepting this as the listing agent, like,
Well, another problem I have with this one is they wrote request correcting per manufacturer or specifications to achieve normal safe function. Like,
Now, I saw pictures of how this garage was installed.
mm,
Okay, so the paper faces, does anyone know which way the paper faces on insulation?
it should go towards the exterior.
No.
No?
No, it goes on the interior.
The
I mean,
paper
we're looking
faces
at a
the
picture.
heated side.
Oh,
Paper always faces the heated side of the area.
Mhm.
okay.
Okay, and that is the direction it was facing.
Oh, so it was right.
So
Right.
it was already up to specifications.
Correct. But everyone's always very confused about the way that the paper faces, because they always think that it faces the wall. So it was on the outside of the wall. It was on the so if you have the garage, right?
Mhm.
And the
Interior
whole
wall or exterior wall?
garage, the whole garage
Oh, okay, gotcha.
was insulated.
Okay.
The paper, so now we're on the exterior wall away from the house.
In the garage,
In
inside
the garage,
right.
the outside wall of the house. Okay. And the paper is facing the inside of the garage. So the fluff is facing out
Okay.
of the
Yeah.
house, which is the correct way to face it. Everyone thinks that the fluff faces the wall. Like like you put
The drywall, right?
the fluff faces the drywall.
Like inside the house.
Right. But that is incorrect. The paper always faces the heated space.
Right. Right. So that's why I was always, I don't know, with
It's always
garages.
confusing.
Well, with a garage, like I honestly, with an exterior garage wall, I didn't think it mattered because
It doesn't matter.
yeah,
You do
it's
not
not.
have to, it doesn't have to be there. That is
Right.
not.
It doesn't have to be insulated.
Right,
It doesn't have to be insulated. It's just a bonus for you.
Exactly.
So what are they, that's why I was like, I don't like the way.
Yeah,
this
I'm with
is
you. I'm
written.
following now. Okay. Yeah.
I don't like the way this is written. What are they asking for? Are they asking you to drywall the whole garage?
Right.
Because the other wall was already drywalled.
Right. Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down now. That makes
So it's like,
absolute
cross it
sense.
out, get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Like that doesn't. Yeah.
None of this
That
makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Or I guess like the best response to that one, besides crossing it out, is literally send them the specifications from the manufacturer where it says it's installed correctly. 'Cause,
Right.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to argue,
Right.
like,
The minute
it's
people,
never gonna make sense. See, like
Yeah.
this is on this here, because it reminded me of the insulation. That is installed correctly.
Yeah.
The paper is facing the heated space.
right. Right.
Mhm.
Right. Also, on a lot of houses now, they've started removing they're not installing insulation under the house because it holds moisture against the floorboards and rots your subfloor out. So
That is correct.
this is a
However,
practice they don't really
I'm
do.
gonna tell you
anymore
right now,
all the
if
time.
you pull a permit in Portsmouth, city of Portsmouth will require you to put that insulation in, whether you're in a flood zone, it doesn't matter where you are.
Oh, wow.
Portsmouth will want it in there and they will require it in there.
Hmm,
So
good
you
to
get an
know.
insulation in there, you can go pull it out later yourself.
Good to know. Yay, everybody's favorite settlement cracks. Oh, actually, it's 11:10, so
Yeah, it is 11:10. Does anyone have any questions? Do you guys want to talk about getting permits or anything like that?
I will listen to anything that you're willing to share, but I know that we're past the time.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I don't care about being past the time. If you guys have questions, please, by all means, like,
I don't know anything about the process of pulling permits. I just know that we have nothing to do with it.
so, okay. So no, we don't have anything to do with it. However, your contractors are gonna pull your permits for you, right? So, however, when do you need a permit, right? All of the cities, depending on what city you're in, are gonna have their Q&A websites, right?
Hmm.
So like, if you're building a deck, a brand new deck, you're gonna pull a permit. If you are not replacing something that is already existing, you are going to get a permit, okay? The only time that you are going to get a permit for replacing something that is pre-existing is going to be when you are getting your roof redone. Because you're
Now-
tearing it off and replacing it.
I have a question
Yes.
on that. Say that somebody installed the deck and never pulled the permit to begin with.
Mhm.
Wouldn't you need to go back and pull another one to replace it, even if you are replacing the existing?
I would.
I would. However,
If I'm selling the house, I would.
yeah. if
That's what I'm thinking. As on the listing side, it's like CYA.
Yeah.
Pull
It is
Right.
CYA. However, there are some cans of worms you just don't friggin' open.
True.
Yeah, well, the closing I had, the one before, the roof had been replaced and they never pulled the permit. It was in Norfolk.
Was the roof replaced or did they do a nail over?
It was replaced.
Okay, you're gonna find that a lot.
Well, that's what, from what I remember, I think I asked you about this when I was going over the home inspection. But from what I remember, I think what you said is city to city could be a little different with
City
roofs.
to city, it is a little bit different. Norfolk requires a
Mhm.
permit. Virginia Beach requires a permit. Chesapeake used to not require a permit.
I
Almost
think
all-
they do now.
I think they do now. A couple years ago, they didn't. But like most of them require a permit for a roof replacement. However, if a contractor can get away with it, because replacing your roof takes about 2 days.
Mhm.
2 days. So if they can go, if they're like back in a neighborhood where they're gonna just be like ping, 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 and out of there in 2 days, and they're not putting up signs and advertising the fact that they're doing your roof, they're gonna do it and they're gonna get the heck out of there. They're not gonna pull that permit.
Yeah.
Okay?
Why wouldn't they pull the permit? Like what
Because it
is
costs
the-
them $350
It costs
Oh.
them money and it delays the work. You have to wait for the permit.
that you have to wait for the permit and you have to wait for the reinspection of that roof.
Wait,
Okay.
the YouTube answer is like they may or may not, but it's your job to make sure that they have pulled the permit.
That is correct.
Okay.
That's the YouTube answer.
It's not
Not
the
YouTube.
YouTube
Not that the-
University.
Yeah, the YouTube answer isn't like no roofing contractor.
end all be all.
No, they will pull a permit.
But
Like
some
I
of them
work with
won't.
plenty of them that do. However,
Some won't. So make sure that they have.
make sure that they have. Make sure that you have your certificate of insurance as additionally insured. You need
Yes.
to ask for it.
Yes.
Because I'm not letting somebody replace the roof on my house because remember, there are people walking on your roof. It does crack the drywall. It damages the walls. Please pull your pictures from the walls.
Yep,
Mhm.
they're
Right?
banging. Yeah.
Everybody is obsessed with GAF roofs, okay? Because they come with a 30-year warranty on them. However, nobody reads the fine print. Did you know that you have to have somebody come up on your roof that is GAF certified once a year
Mhm.
Wow.
to do the maintenance? And then report back to GAF that you had that done?
Yep.
Oh, wow. No, I didn't know that.
Everybody voids their warranty within a year.
Yep.
So why are we buying them?
Yeah.
Not only that, you have to have 3 GAF products on your roof in order to qualify for that warranty.
Wow.
And most of those, I'm telling you, like, nobody is paying attention. Like, so, I mean, like what you are paying for when you pay a Class A contractor is their insurance. 30% of that job is going directly to their insurance so that you can be additionally insured.
Okay.
Okay, that's why we hire them. That's why we don't hire handy people. That is why we pay what we pay. That is why they are not as inexpensive as unlicensed people. You want them, and that's why we put on top of our PICRAs, licensed and insured.
Yeah.
Give me the insurance. I want a copy and proof of their insurance.
Yeah.
Because I'm coming back to haunt them. I want to be able to make an insurance claim. Okay, I can tell you right now that when I bought my house, and this is a true story, I bought my house, it had what's called an Apollo system. I had no idea what an Apollo system was. It's hot water heat in the attic that runs through the hot water heater. I didn't know that. The home inspector didn't know that. Nobody knew what the heck this thing was. I said, I don't know what this is. Somebody come out here and tell me what this is, right? No idea what it was. They hired a contractor to come and say that it was fine. Contractor came out, certified it, said that it was great. I had to choose between a hot shower and a hot water. Or no, a hot shower and heat my first winter in that house because they had spliced a regular hot water heater in to the heat system.
Oh, that's a no-go.
Okay. Do you know what I did? I went back to DPOR and I went to the contractor recovery board and I sued the crap out of him. And I got a free hot water heater
Wow.
that was the proper size because I knew how to go through all the channels that I needed to go through. And I had a copy of his insurance, his license number, his name, his phone number, all of it. So, and I was listed as additionally insured on his COI because that's what I asked for.
Sure.
And my realtor at the time was like, why do you need all this? And I was like, because that's what I want. I was like, I want a COI. I want his license number. Like, who is this person? Like, I'm not accepting this. He was like, you're crazy. I was like, no, I'm not. Either get it for me or I'll find somebody who can.
Well,
And it's a good thing I did because I mean, that new hot water heater was going to cost $5,000
wow.
because I had to buy, it had to be an 80-gallon tank that burned at 80,000 BTUs
Good Lord.
in order to run both systems.
Wow.
So, but this is why we have to use licensed and insured contractors.
For
Because
sure.
what's an insurance claim? Everybody makes mistakes. They're all human. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
It's not hard to look at something and make a mistake. It's not hard to miss something. I mean, even our home inspectors are insured for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, how hard is it to miss a thing? They look at houses all day long. That's why we have E&O insurance as well. There's an element of human error to what we do. We're not here to know everything. We're just here to be a resource.
This was awesome. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome.
I
hope
gotta
you-
jump off. I apologize.
No, it's fine. I hope you have a great day.
I hope you have a great day, guys. This was so beneficial. Thank you. Thank you.
See you later, Rebecca.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.